Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel, and as you can see on your screens, you won't be able to hear this yet, but there are only two of us today. Unfortunately, Abhishek is unwell, so he couldn't join us today. So we hope he gets better soon. But David is here for this very important episode with the new boosts. How are you doing, David?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I just came back from a football match, and we managed to scrape a draw at the end, so that was nice.
Good.
So it was a good match, but it was a bit cold because like the whole first half they had no shots on goal, and like the only goal they had in the second half was like a super lucky pass back that they got onto. So yeah, I was like freezing my hands off. But yeah,
Making it worldly saves, David, in the second half.
yeah, made some saves, but yeah, it was more like passing the ball back to the defenders and like distributing it forward and. Yeah, so we had like probably 10 corners and we got the corner goal at the end, so that was like pure euphoria.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. Yeah, it's I'm slightly in shock about the result yesterday. How did we manage to do that?
That was crazy.
Dyche Ball is here, and I'm a fan. Let's just see if we can keep it up. I'm not getting carried away. We know what happened with Lampard. We had a bit of a new manager bounce with him. And then it all went pear-shaped. But I have a lot more faith in Dyche tactically, long-term, so I think I'm a lot happier now. Maybe we will survive, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's been quite a chilled out weekend. So my housemate's a big rugby fan, so watching the Six Nations with him yesterday as well. He's Irish, so he enjoyed England losing quite a bit. But yeah, it's been good. All right. Shall we go through how we've done in Game Week 30?
Yeah, let's do it.
As always.
You're up first.
I'm up first this time.
It's unusual.
So I played Jeepers Keepers this week on Vaklik and Maxwell. I don't think I've said this. He's not called Vaklik. How do you say his name? I don't know how you say his name. Apologies.
I don't know. That's the best I could do. Vaklik.
Anyway, that guy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he started anyway. That's the important thing. Obviously, there was some doubt, and the kind of general consensus was that he would play, but we weren't sure, and he did. So I brought in him and Maxwell, and I also brought in Yates for Stuart, who's injured. I wouldn't have done the Yates move if Stuart was fit, but I thought I might as well. And I captained Yates for a 1-pointer, so that's good. But hopefully,
I didn't see that. Ouch.
Yeah, well, it's fair enough. He's not a great asset, really, but double game week in it.
Yeah.
And home to Huddersfield, you never know. You might sneak a goal in that game. So, so far it's 87 -8. Don't know how big a green arrow that is because the ranks haven't updated. But Wallace got me 11 points at Palm and Sarr, also in my team. So I think I've done all right. I was 296 at the start. I don't know whether I'll be around 250, maybe pushing. I don't know. Maybe it'd be good by the end of the game week if I'm kind of pushing 200 to try and make some progress. But yeah, I'm happy enough. Obviously, the captaincy hasn't worked out, but we'll see where we are after Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the game is. How about you, David?
Yeah, I've done a bit worse than you, but still okay. I did the exact same move with the goalkeepers as you did, so I'm on 70 -4. So yeah, I brought in the two keepers, and I also got I don't even remember. But yeah, I think I did hit for someone, I have vice captain Holmes, so I'm actually hoping he's not playing because I have emergency captain Giles and he got 6 points too. So and also I have Sarr, I have Chair, got 5.
Who's your first sub, David?
First sub, that's Colin actually, and he got something, I think 5 points or something. So yeah, and also Lowe got an 11 pointer. So that's very nice. It was nice for me, but not for the pod team. We'll get back to that later, but it worked out for me at least. And Paul played, so that was nice. But he was a bit of a doubt, so yeah. But I didn't go for any Bristol. No. What was the other team again? My brain freeze. Yeah, the other
Blackpool.
team apart from Huddersfield are doubling again. That's Blackpool, of course. Yeah, I didn't go for a Blackpool outfield player, and I don't think they did. Any one of them did any well. So
No,
I think
it's
so. I
3-0.
think someone brought in like Poveda or something, and it didn't even start. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Lewis that took. I don't know if he did it, but he was talking about taking Poveda in for Sar or something. So if he did that, it would be a horrendous move, but hopefully it didn't. Yeah. So
Blackpool's struggling at the moment, aren't they?
yeah. So I'm hoping for more saves, I guess. Jeepers Keepers
Mhm.
is such a good boost, so you can only get better from here, really. So yeah.
Best boost. Love
That's
it so
my
much.
team. Right. We can move on to the Memorial Cup. And yeah, not much has changed really. The only thing that's changed is the ninth and 10th place. That was hard to say in numbers. I'm blaming my Norwegian on this. So yeah, and Runnerid is still leading by far. But yeah, the others are holding on. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say, but yeah, keep going, and I'm excited to see if the ranks change after the game week is done, because I don't even know if it's like updated on since the last game week, because the game hasn't updated us our individual scores, so maybe not the leagues as well.
I'm not on our pod team, so I can't see the league standings. But what I can say is that Ronnerid got 78 points, and the guy in second got 38 points on overhaul.
Ooh.
So that
Wow.
going to go up by quite a lot.
How's he managed that?
It's quite impressive to only get 38, isn't
it? That's very impressive. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he will probably go even further up then. Yeah. Let's move on to the Thursday Night Wars, and as you can see on the YouTube video now, we have done something a bit different, because it wouldn't be fair to like not show at least something from the EFL guys, because they've smashed it this week. They are the only team that played the boost this week with Jeeps Keepers, and they are on 99 minus 4 points. So very well done to them. I think they had some very nice punts in there that delivered.
Yeah, it's a very good score. Very, very good score. But the fight for second place is on at the moment.
Yeah.
With the community team. We were kind of working it out earlier, and we've got Holmes vice captain, and that's it, because we rolled the transfer this week, and they have got Holmes and Lowton vice captain and Maxwell, and we're 4 points ahead. So on the surface, it doesn't look too great. It looks like they just need 5 points from kind of Maxwell and Lowton. But if Holmes doesn't play, we have Matson's 13-pointer off the bench, and they only have a 5-pointer off the bench. So if Holmes doesn't play, we should be okay for second place, but we'll see.
Yeah, we've had like a game week that's like very me, because we have Matson, Low, and Trusty on the bench, and that's like 31 points on the bench. That's awful. Yeah. So we should we should like address. I was like using the pod account when, and like had a GIF off against EFL, and we had like it was like themed around the Fast and Furious movies, like and we said, they were like, we are going to catch you, and I was like, no, just give up. And then they won the last week, and now they're looking like they are winning again, so they have like gotten 2 on the bounce after that that like encounter. So yeah, we we have messed up a bit this week.
Well, I'm not too bothered because they played a boost, to be honest, but
yeah.
Obviously last week was a good win for them that they needed. I mean, either way, we're going to go into the boost reset ahead by at least 3 points or something. I can't remember the exact scores. So we're doing well.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Very nice. So well, let's hope they don't like win against us 3 times in a row. That would be embarrassing. Right. Now we should move on to this pod's theme, I guess, which is the new boosts. And for those on YouTube, you can see a very nice graphic I just made with myself. It's Nissan Skyline with our faces on it. So yeah, check it out if you're just listening. Yeah.
David does do a wonderful graphic, as you all know by now. It's a right step up from my poor attempts last season. So the boosts then, we have got in order that they show up on the site, Overhaul, Underhaul, which is free hit basically, Budget Buster, Home Advantage, Triple Triple, and Goalfest. If people want a little bit of a refresh on the Budget Buster rules, so it's 2.5 multiplier applied to players who are budget, and that depends on which position. So obviously a budget defender and a budget keeper is going to be cheaper than a budget sort of midfield and forwards. So goalkeepers, the threshold is anyone less than 5 million. Defenders is the same. Midfielders less than 6.5, and forward less than 7. And then home advantage, just a reminder, that's times 1.5 all players with home fixtures. So, what are your initial thoughts, David? We have got 3 double game weeks coming up in the game week 33, 34, and 35. Have you started to think about strategy yet? I'm not expecting you to say I've got it all planned out. I know all my moves, and I know my chip strategy, boost strategy.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be like very like me, but be more like you actually to just have a plan very early on. But yeah, no, I
don't.
Really.
Well, I have thought about it and I've got thoughts, but I haven't got a firm plan yet.
Yeah, I've looked at other people's thoughts and like thought, yeah, those are good thoughts. I will maybe do something about the same. But yeah, it's at the moment it looks like at least 2 other boosts are a bit obvious. At least for me, the Budget Buster has to be played at least for my taste. But like speaking of Budget Buster, just to be completely sure, it's players under 7 million and under is you can't have players that are 7 million, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
because I know some previous years some people have like misunderstood that a bit. They've had players that are either 7 million when they start to play boost, or they have players that were maybe like 6.4, but during the game week but they went up to 6.5, and then they didn't get the boost for that player.
Yeah. Did you say during the game week?
No, before. But yeah.
Yeah.
So those people are very very unlucky. But yeah, just to be aware that you have players that are under, not at the threshold.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a very good chip. 2.5. That's like one of the more the higher like per player boosts, right? Because we have some boosts that are 2. What is it? It's away days 2 times 2 or times 2.5. So it's better than away days in some ways, but it's harder to set up for. So that's like the caveat, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah, indeed. I think before we go into, I guess, which weeks to play which boosts, we should briefly just go through what the doubles are, because that is quite important when deciding what boosts to play when. So game week 33 is the biggest double. There's 5 games in there, so 10 teams doubling. So we've got Blackburn and Swansea at home, Blackpool at home. Blackpool play Stoke at home, Blackburn away. Norwich have Wigan away, Birmingham at home, so that's 2 good fixtures. Birmingham have got Huddersfield away, Norwich away. Rotherham have got Coventry at home, Sunderland at home. Sunderland have got Bristol City at home, Rotherham away. Swansea have got Blackburn away, Stoke at home. Stoke have got Blackpool away, Swansea away. Millwall have got Sheffield United at home, Burnley at home, and Burnley have got Luton away, Millwall away. Game week 34 is currently Preston against Coventry and Luton against Millwall in the double. So Preston would have Wigan and Coventry at home. Coventry would have Sunderland at home, Preston away. Luton would have Birmingham away, Millwall at home, and Millwall have Stoke away, Luton away. But Luton Millwall could get called off because that is FA Cup 4th round midweek. Sorry, 5th round. FA Cup 5th round midweek. And if Luton beat Grimsby in their replay, the Luton Millwall game is off and it's just Preston Coventry. So remember that when you're thinking about your moves. Finally, we've got game week 35, which has 3 games. So Reading have got Middlesbrough away, Sheffield United at home. Sheffield United have got Blackburn away, Reading away. Huddersfield have got Coventry at home, Bristol City at home. Bristol City have got Cardiff away, Huddersfield away. West Brom have got Hull away and Wigan at home, and Wigan have got Birmingham at home, West Brom away. That's it. So, yes, so Budget Buster is the obvious boost to play. You said there was a second obvious boost to play, David, and what is that?
It depends on if you're playing Budget Buster. But I think if you're playing Budget Buster, I think Overhaul is a very either nice thing to get into the week or get out of it. But it's not like a fun boost to like have locked in, I guess. But
yeah, it's boring.
It's very boring. But it's a mature thing to I don't know. But yeah, and other than that, probably triple. Because it's an easier boost to set up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, where my head is at is Budget Buster, no-brainer. Triple, also a no-brainer because it's so easy to set up for. And I'm currently leaning towards Overhaul as well as my third one. Normally, I don't like playing Overhaul because it's not a point-scoring boost. But I feel like with double game weeks, combinations of double game weeks and Budget Buster being such a pain, we need to use it for the Budget Buster. And the other reason is of the other boosts, there's no standout really good one. If there was one really brilliant point scoring boost in the others and more double game weeks, then maybe I'd be interested. Like any more big, like if there's another big double game week coming up, I would be more interested in Goal Fest or Home Advantage. What I found really interesting actually is that in all the chats that I've seen about which boost to play, no one is talking about Home Advantage, and correctly so. Whereas last season, a lot more people were interested in it, and I think people have realised perhaps it's not as good as you first think, because essentially it's you gain. Is it the same amount of games as you gain from triple? Triple is what? Gain of 2, 3, 4.5, and yeah, it's the same. It's the same as triple in terms of fixture gain, but so much more difficult to set up for. The only thing is with Home Advantage, like there are some teams that double twice at home on multiple occasions, which makes it slightly more viable than normal. So like in Game Week 33, Rotherham have 2 home games, Blackburn have 2 home games, and so do Millwall. And then in Game Week 35, Huddersfield have 2 home games as well. But for me, when you've got 2 boosts that take a lot of setting up for, like Budget Buster and Home Advantage, I think you just play the one. I'd be more interested in Home Advantage if one of these double game weeks was later on in like Game Week 40, when you've got time to set up for that. When you've got no time to set up for it, I'm not interested personally. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it much, but like 1.5 isn't really that much. It's like 0.5 more, and if you're playing it on players like from Blackburn and Rotherham, you're not like expecting super much. But if they were doubled or 2.5 like in the other boosts, you would probably, even though they didn't like score massively, it would still be something significant. But like 1.5, it's just like not justifying going over the other chips boosts anyway. And I find it a bit interesting that we are not talking about Goal Fest at all, because when they first introduced it, it was like one of the biggest chips because they were. I'm saying chips, it's boosts. Sorry, because there were so many goals at the moment when that boost was like introduced, everyone was playing it and everyone was getting Tony's like hat tricks and all those things. But like it's falling in stock so much, so maybe we're like overlooking it a bit too much, I guess. But it's just like the other boosts that just look better. So.
I think it's weighing up Overhaul versus a Goal Fest to me.
Yeah.
And Goal Fest is a bit risky in a single game week. You can just get 1 or 2 goals in your team. You've only gained 5 or 10 points. It's not good. And like you mentioned before, there was Tony, there was Mitrovic in previous seasons. We don't have a player like that this season to rely on for goals on a very consistent basis. So when I look at that, and when you're thinking of Goal Festing in a single game week or a really small double, the Overhaul probably is more valuable, to be honest. Yeah.
But are you if we would say like you were locked into those 3 boosts, would you play the Overhaul before or after the Budget Buster?
I've had a little think about this. I think it's team dependent. I think if you're obviously like quite well set up for Budget Buster now, in terms of you might have 2 or 3 already and you want to get to 6 or 7 with a -8 or something, then it makes more sense to overhaul out of it. But if you're nowhere near a viable Budget Buster team, I can understand overhauling in. Personally, I think I'm going to overhaul out. because then I can take some hits into it, and then afterwards, I'd rather take hits into it than out of it, because I want to quickly get a good team again straight away, particularly for game week 35. And at the moment, I've got two Sheffield United, one West Brom, who are kind of the main assets for 35. I would want to have a triple up on both teams for 35, and it's so much easier to get that by just overhauling out of it in 34. So I think that's where my head is currently at. Because my current plan is budget buster 33, because I think everyone is going to be on the same page with that. It's a big double. There's a number of teams that have cheap assets there. And then 35 is just a much better triple week because you've got more reliable assets like your Sheffield United and West Brom ones to triple on, which you don't really have in 33. You got Norwich, maybe you got Sunderland, but Sunderland got 2 great fixtures, but Stewart's obviously injured, so he's gone. Burnley, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one that's a bit like hit and miss for me, because you can go for Burnley players, but the cheap ones aren't necessarily very good. How much is Brownhill at the moment? Is he over 6.5 or under?
Over, I think, but let me check.
Because I don't having him anymore, but
he's 6'4".
Ooh, but
so
people might buy him, and then he will go up.
So he needs to blank every game week now. He's just keep blanking, no more points for Brownhill until the double, and then he's fine.
That's he's not been playing very well at the moment, so maybe that's like. But if you get him and it just keeps on not doing anything in the double, it's not like worth it anyway. But
and then there's Ince at 6.4 as well, who is the 5th high scoring midfielder, just below Brownhill. So I think both of those are very risky ones. I don't think I will risk either of them, because Brownhill's goal involvement's not that great anyway. Ince is game week 35. They doubled 35, so
okay,
ignore that. So are you thinking budget buster 23 as well, David?
Yeah, 33 I think, because the teams that are playing have budget options like Blackpool and Birmingham and not Huddersfield, but Rotherham, and I guess once they have some chips as well, Sunderland. So it's like perfect, because you can go out of it with an overhaul, and you also have players that you don't want going forward, but you want them for that week, and there's still like 2 weeks to go. So yeah, I think many will take loads of hits anyway. Depends just how big of a hit you're going to do the week you're playing it. But like we've seen like 200 plus points on this chip before with lots of hits, so it can definitely be worth it. But you're also banking on players that aren't necessarily as good as the big hitters that you used to have, but that's like the thing with that chip. You just have to go for it, and you can also bench players if you don't want to lose value. For example, I have Pookie. I don't know how much money I have in him, but if I don't have the strikers that if there aren't like cheap strikers I want, I can just keep him. But I think midfielders is like usually the place that it's easier to find cheaper players than in defense and strikers. So
although I don't mind defense, because it just takes if they've got 2 good fixtures, even if it's not a great defensive team, if you can get 2 half clean sheets, then you're talking 20 points in total probably. So
I would say 4-5-1 is very good formation for budget buster, because you can have most of the cheap ones and still keep some of those you don't want to sell. But
possibly, although I think we're going to struggle to find 5 good midfield options.
Do you think so?
I mean, should we go through some of these teams that double in 33 and talk about these? So Blackburn, who have they got that's under the threshold? They've got a couple of defenders at 4.9, so we probably wouldn't go there. Wharton and Sanchez, and Wharton and IR. I don't even know if they're nailed, to be honest. Then you're talking the midfielders, so like Hedges, Dolan, Morton are all under the threshold. I need to do my research on Blackburn. I've not really watched them play for a while, but I wonder if a Blackburn midfielder there Dolan or Hedges might be a play, or Morton.
Yeah, I haven't like heard much about them lately, but it doesn't mean that they don't get points. But it's like a big drop off from Hedges to Dolan and Morton, for example. So, but he's like comfortably under the 6.5, so it's like a safe option when it comes to value, I guess.
Yeah, and that Blackpool at home game is very good, and both games at home, so there could be something in it. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I had one of those guys wants to do a bit more research and nailed down whether Hedges or Morton is the better pick, looking at stats and stuff. But yeah, that's about it there, isn't it? There's no one else. The defenders are mostly all above, the keepers above. Blackpool, well, I've got Maxwell for cheapest keeper, so I might as well keep him, right?
Yeah, same. So that's one. Their defenders are very
When
cheap.
I look at that home game, Stoke. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying the defenders are all cheap. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea of going for someone like Connolly. That Stoke at home game, the first game of the double, is one where I would think, I could hope for a half clean sheet in that one. Yeah, midfield wise, Bowler's back. I mean, I was keeping an eye on him, but he is 6'4", so he's only just below the threshold.
Yeah, but I wouldn't imagine many will go for him anyway. So
no.
If there was one 6.4 midfielder you can go for, that's probably Bowler.
Yeah, I'm going to be certainly researching some of these cheaper picks in the coming weeks and just seeing who looks good. But I'm not that interested in like Paveda. I've got Yates, so yeah. Yates might be all right.
Yeah, you should just keep him at least, but yeah. He's like one of the cheapest you can get that still plays, so
yeah,
it's just good.
Yeah, I'll keep Yates. Norwich, I don't think they'll have anyone, will they?
Do they even have someone that's cheap? Gibbs?
McLean? No, it's literally like McLean, so no thanks.
Yeah, that's a no-go.
Yeah. Birmingham then.
I guess Trust is like the main pick there.
Huddersfield away, Norwich away. So they'll concede to Norwich. Huddersfield, they could do all right. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate a defender there. Colin or Trusty. Trusty's obviously 0.1 cheaper, so a bit safer there. Kadra, no, he's above threshold. No midfielders take my fancy at all there.
No.
And then there's Jukovic or Hogan or Dini.
Dini has been doing a bit okay, actually. I think he's gotten some goals in like he's Dini, so you would not expecting much, but he's still getting goals. If you want to super out there punt, maybe go for him, but like you're probably you're just as likely to get a yellow card as a goal. So yeah.
Could bring Hogan back. He scored a penalty yesterday.
Yeah.
In 4-3 victory. 4-3 against Swansea. It was just. What a crazy game that was. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on the strikers, I think, in case one of them looks like they're hitting form. But looking at the strikers I've got currently, I've got Victor, Akpom and Yates. I could just keep Akpom. And he's a single game week player, but he's a budget player. Why sell him? So he's got QPR at home, and QPR are pretty naff at the moment. So Rotherham. I mean, I own Igbene, so even though he's not doing that great at the moment, he's got a return in him, so I'm happy with that. I'll keep him. Coventry and Sunderland at home. Not kind of medium fixtures. Tariq Fosu.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he's just gotten back to, wasn't from Brentford or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I believe he's playing up front.
Really?
I think. I'm not sure of that. I just when I've looked at lineups and formations and stuff, that's what it's looked like to me. I'll have a look into that actually. But if that's the case, that could be an option. And a defender maybe.
Yeah, I'm getting like bad flashbacks to Wood, but like, yeah, he's not doing very much better than the other defenders in the same team. But yeah, I think Johansson is nice.
Yeah, he's that annoying 4'9" point.
Yeah, it's like easy to get nervous about these things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's got a pen save in him or some. I think he's a
Well,
very good keeper.
that's a very good point. That's a very good point. He does. Yeah. Anyone else there? for
No,
Rotherham?
not really. Not
Just
surprising.
trying
It's,
to.
I'm even surprised they have someone we can pick actually. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
How's the
Good
fix? Who
result.
were they playing again?
Coventry and Sunderland at home.
Yeah, they're at home at least. So
Good result against Sheffield United at the weekend with the draw. Um, oh, okay. So no, Foster is not playing up front because they've now signed Hugill, but he's in that front three. But Hugill is 6.1, so I guess I'll have my eye on him. I mean, he played 70 minutes yesterday, no shots whatsoever. But again, it was Sheffield United. It's a tough game. So,
yeah,
I'll have an eye on him, I think, and Fosu. But yeah, no more than just having an eye on them. I'm not massively interested. Sunderland could have one or two attractive options, I think. Their defenders are all cheap. Patterson at 4.7, I quite like if you don't have a keeper already that fits the bill. They've got Bristol City and Rotherham. That's good fixtures, and I would expect a half clean sheet or two out of those games. And then Ballard is 4.9, so probably wouldn't go there. But then you've got Bath and you've got Elise in the defence potentially.
Is Elise back from injury again?
I'm not sure he played yesterday. Actually, I don't think he did. So maybe not. Yeah, Stewart would have been so good for this. He's 6'8", so he's below the threshold. But then again, everyone will have had him. But you know what that does open up? That opens up the option of the striker they signed from Leeds, Gelhardt, maybe.
Yeah, 6.5.
Sunderland are a good attacking team. So he's very much on the watch list, I think, at 6.5.
Yeah.
One thing. Midfield.
Yeah, how are like Sunderland having a defense? Is this correct? Because they have 4 defenders that's not injured in the game, and one of them is also injured. So it's like just Baths, Ballard, and Hume. Is that the defense, or did some midfielders play defense as well? Has to be.
I think that's a good question. I'm not sure.
I just have to look at the lineup for the last game because this is crazy. I've never seen a team with so few defenders. Sunderland. Yeah.
Oh no, Elise did start.
It is. Yeah, he did play.
Yeah, Hume played, Ballard and Bath. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only defenders they have are playing.
Yeah.
I think there's some players that are not in the game. Equa is the only one. They only have 2 defenders on the bench last game. So they're like they can't afford any more injuries. It looks like.
Yeah, very light. They do have again potential midfield options. So Diallo, Roberts, and Clark. I'm not very interested in Clark at the moment, but I think Diallo's the standout for me. He's 6'3", so he's below the threshold, but only by 0.2. Roberts is doing all right at the moment, so he could also be a potential option. So I think I'll have a Sunderland midfielder in my team. It's just a case of which one. Swansea.
That's like a team I'm kind of missing having in my team because there were such fun options back in the day, but like
Yeah,
where have they gone? They also have a very small team, I guess, but
I mean, Piro's obviously not under the threshold. There's Cooper. There's Ollie Cooper. He could be a potential option. I think he'll be quite popular in midfield. He's doing all right, 5.8. I think he's the one I'm most interested in. I wouldn't be surprised if I had him. I mean, obviously the Stoke game's quite a good game, good fixture for them. You can see them scoring against Blackburn as well.
Is he like a new player that's starting to get good, or has he been it the whole season? Because I haven't heard of him. I think
He's Abhishek owned him at one point.
Oh really?
In the first half of the season, he's kind of broken through. he's never really been a Gaffr option, particularly. But Abhishek did have him briefly. He's all right. He's an attacking midfielder, quite young.
How about Cullen at 5.1? He scored last game.
Who? Sorry.
Cullen.
Cullen. I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know much about him, so one to look at.
Yes, the last 2 games before this game he was played until 58 minutes, so maybe not. But other than that, he's actually played a bit well. He's actually got some assists and goals in the. He had 3 goals in 3 weeks at some point in December.
Nice.
Against Watford and Coventry.
Yeah, a forward slot though. I do wonder whether.
Yeah, that's like the caveat, I guess.
The defenders don't look like options. I mean, Latibaudiere is 4'9", but probably wouldn't go there. I guess keepers wise, I believe Bender is out for the season, so Fisher is now in. So you go for him if you wanted to, but
yeah, I think there's better options in goalkeeper than him.
Yeah, I think I agree. Stoke. I really don't think Stoke are going to offer too much. I guess Fox is 4.6 if you want a defender. I mean, Blackpool and Swansea. The Blackpool game is the one you'd be targeting from a defensive point of view. Tyrese Campbell is 6'9", so he's just underneath. Baker, our old friend Lewis Baker. Oh no, he's above the threshold.
Yeah, he is.
Nah, I'm not interested. Are you?
No, not really. Yeah, I think that's
There's a
just
chance I'll have Fox, but
yeah.
Who else have we got? Why is my laptop not scrolling? 1 second. There we go. Millwall, Sheffield United and Burnley are 2 tough fixtures, so I don't know about this. But then the thing is with them, they do potentially double in 34. So if you're not going to overhaul in 34, there's Honeyman at 5'9", potentially.
Yeah.
I hate that.
He was we hyped him so much before the season, but he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, no, the defenders are way overpriced, so we're not going there. And
Bradshaw maybe. He's not on my team anymore, unfortunately, but because I got looking out for low, but he's been a good player for me. And he's 6.6, so also below the threshold by a comfortable margin.
They have also just signed Duncan Watmore on deadline day, I think it was.
Okay.
At 6.3. I'll have an eye on him as well. I think he'd make my shortlist just to see how he does, because I think he could become an option. Maybe.
Yeah. One thing to think about though is you don't have to, if you're like set on using overhaul in 34, it's not like you have to look so much into like the coming boost weeks anyway, because you most likely can get them back. And if it's harder to have them in your team and then not, you can just like get them in 34 for 35 maybe, and then you also will know hopefully if they are doubling. So yeah, I would say like you shouldn't like take lots of hits to get them if you're not having the overhaul in like your back pocket in case they don't double in the next game week. But yeah,
agreed with that.
We'll know
about that this week.
Yeah, will we know if they have the double before the 34 deadline?
I believe the replay's this midweek, so we'll actually know in a few days. So actually, it's fine.
That's very nice.
We'll have the information.
Even more reason to play overhaul then.
Yeah. I can see. Yeah, people might overhaul into that. That could be quite good. Getting kind of.
Yeah, and Fleming. You don't have to go for like Watmore instead of Fleming, for example.
I think assuming I overhaul in 34, I'll probably have Fleming for that for sure, but probably not for Richard Buster because he's over the threshold. Burnley have a grand total of 1 option who is only just under the threshold, and that is Josh Brownhill at 6.4, who has a very low expected goal involvement, but is good at bonus points sometimes. So if you want to risk it with a Burnley player, maybe you could. If you have him, worth holding him and seeing how he does, and hope he doesn't rise.
Yeah, it's like if he's like a don't buy, don't sell classic.
I mean, if he's 6'4", the day of the deadline of game week 33, I'll probably get him and get like he's obviously a standout asset, isn't he? At that price, even if he's not doing well at the moment. So, yeah, I'd go for him if it looks like he's not going to rise.
Just a bit unrelated, is Lyle Foster a new signing for Burnley? Because
that is.
Yeah, because I saw he's 9 million, and that's very expensive. That's like 0.1 under Rodriguez, and he played 70 minutes against Norwich. But like, I don't know if he's an option or not. But it's
Do you know anything about him?
No, I don't. But like, it's usually they expect big things if it's 9 million. But yeah. We will have to see if he steps up, I guess. But yeah, that was a bit unrelated. But yeah, I was just surprised to see such a expensive player just coming from the first division, actually. Wow.
Yeah, and they've got Obafemi now, so they've got some striking options at the moment.
Yeah.
Although I think Ashley Barnes started yesterday, so they're still sticking with the big, strong guy.
Oh, really? Even though they don't even have Daesh anymore.
Yeah, it's like the whole team plays really nice, attractive football. They've got exciting wingers, exciting midfielders, and then they've just got Ashley Barnes. It's like completely outside of the feel of the team and the style of play that you'd expect.
Yeah, it's a bit funny because I'm watching a YouTube series that it's called Brexit FC, and he's like the top striker there.
Oh, man.
It's like I've seen some videos like with Brexit tackles. It's just like super bad tackles, like most certainly injuring people. And he's like one of those guys. But it's nice for him that he still plays. That's a bit surprising, but yeah. Anyway,
I wonder if some of us are going to regret not having a certain Burnley players in our teams that just are above the threshold because they're so good. Like Matson's a brilliant option. I wish I should have Matson in my team. I can't believe I don't really. And like Zaruri's on fire. Teller's still a decent option. So like these players could go off in the double, and we won't have them because they're not budget. Interesting.
Would you like go for a player that's not like in the budget buster thing because he's like on form?
I doubt I'd transfer in someone unless they're clearly a brilliant asset.
But say Maatsen then. He's like so good that he can get like at least the same points as maybe a Rotherham player that has budget buster.
If you own Maatsen, don't sell him. Start him in that week. I think. I feel like there's no need to like. There's not enough good budget options to get a full 11 out of budget players. I reckon I'll have somewhere in the region of between 6 and 8 budget players. I don't know yet. I need to think about it more. But you know, there are perfectly good assets like Maatsen who you don't transfer out, you play. Like Victor, I think I'll probably have in my team, and maybe one of Wallace, Siren, and Jai. Maybe 2 of those, in fact. So, yeah, I would be reluctant to buy anyone who doubles that's not budget because transfers are precious, but I certainly wouldn't be selling good doubling assets from that week.
Yeah. If it's just single game, maybe that's a bit better, but like, yeah, I wouldn't sell Maatsen just because it's not cheap. You can still get lots of points.
Like Akpom, I mean, he's budget as well. I'll probably play him, even though he's only got a single game week. So
yeah, it's easy to forget, like when you're playing this boost and double, like that the players that are cheap enough and that doesn't have a double also count.
Yeah,
I've like sometimes thought about it's just the players that have a double that count, but it's not like that. You can still have players that are cheap and don't have double, and they get points for you. So at least don't bench Akpom just because it doesn't have a double when you're playing budget buster.
100%. Don't bench anyone who's budget.
No.
Start like Tilt. I could play Tilt actually.
Tilt.
He does start. Sorry, he does start for Wigan, and Wigan They don't double. I mean, they've got Norwich, so it's a bit rubbish. But I could get 2 times 2.5 is 5, maybe.
Yeah,
Sneak a half clean sheet out of it.
yeah, it's the same when you add it up. So
I don't know with our start tilt. Panzo's 5, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's worth talking about other potential budget options that don't double to bring in. So I feel like you shouldn't bring in any other players unless there's someone really stand out. But I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that's like clearly just a brilliant budget option that has a high chance of returning in just one game. So
yeah, and it's most likely for hit anyway. So
yeah,
probably not.
Exactly. Cool. I'm trying to think. So that's budget buster covered. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should talk about. I guess triple. Are you thinking 35 as well then? Would you say?
Yeah, I think so. Have you looked at I think we said earlier which teams that are playing in 35, but we can just refresh that the big options for those teams. But you can play on Huddersfield players, but you probably won't. But who are the options you would say? West Brom is the main one, I think, for expensive big hitters for triple.
Yeah. So West Brom and Sheffield United are the clear standouts here.
Yeah, for sure. So you got NGI and maybe Wallace or DK. His place, right?
Yeah. Thomas Asante will be back.
Okay.
So maybe not DK, but just the fact that West Brom and Sheffield United double in these weeks and with good fixtures, like West Brom have got Hull and Wigan. Sheffield United a little tougher, Blackburn and Reading away. It's just a no-brainer. So I mean, I think if I was to call it right now, I'd go Wallace and Jai and Townsend. I think there's at least 3 half clean sheets out of 4 is possible from those games. I mean, Wigan are atrocious. Hull are doing better than I think we give them credit for at the moment, but still not a great team. Bottom half. So
yeah, not keen on Will Keane. That's the third one.
No.
I guess you never were. Yeah. Reading, not really.
What I'm quickly realizing is I think everyone's going to go down the same route with these new boosts.
Yeah.
Same or very similar strategies. It's going to be budget buster 33, triple 35, and then overhaul either in 34 or maybe overhauling into budget buster. That is a shame, but I guess you can't really help how the doubles have fallen. You can't help that.
Do you think if people maybe save the overhaul or triple for later if there's another double, do you think that's a valid strategy, or is it best to just, because it's crazy if this was any other fancy game we wouldn't play as free boost in 3 weeks, but this is a bit different.
Yeah, no, I think if you're going to use it overhaul, surely you use it to prepare for stuff here. I mean, for me, overhauling in 34 or 35 is just I feel like the best option because, triple West Brom, triple Sheffield United, Bristol City have got Cardiff and Huddersfield. I could chuck in a couple of Bristol City in there, a couple of Huddersfield in there. Actually get a team of, 11 doublers out for 35 as well. So, yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's any other potential routes people could go down. I guess there's the option of free hitting in 34. So we're going budget buster, free hit, triple. Try and maximise doublers in 34. I feel like people won't do that unless Luton Millwall stays in there, which is looking unlikely. Other options, I can't think of a viable use of Goldfest.
Yeah, if we're just sitting here talking about options that aren't really good because we want to be different, maybe it's maybe there's a reason why people are thinking about this, because it's the best way to do it. But it's not if Abhishek was here, we probably had some crazy plan for something else. Somehow playing party bus, even though the bus wasn't but
yeah that would not surprise me.
No, he's hacked the game or just asked the admins to add it to just his team so he can post about it.
Right, yeah. I feel like he's almost certainly not gonna be the same strategy as everyone else. He's going to throw in a goal fest somewhere.
I can actually. I'm pretty sure he will play Go Fest just because he thinks it's fun or something.
We'll see next time.
Yeah. They will probably know next time what he's doing. But yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm wondering if there would have been any ways for the guys at Gaffr HQ to make it a bit more tricky for us to decide what to do. There probably was a way, but obviously it's hard. It's a hard job working out what boosts to play and making them balanced. And maybe they chucked in home advantage, thinking that would be more popular. I think maybe just people are now wise to home advantage not being amazing. It does. Yeah, maybe they were thinking because teams have 2 home games in the doubles.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense. And I think it would have been much more of a discussion if we didn't have Budget Buster and such an obvious Budget Buster week. So.
Yeah. If we had away days or a new boost, maybe there would be a bit of a different discussion, but it's like falling into our hands a bit now. So yeah.
Cool. Right. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered most of it, and we have some questions as well.
Preguntas. First question.
The questions we have are from Billy Hadaway and FPL13. I can't see. Anyway, Billy asks, please rank the boost in order of preference. Also, are there any single game weeks that stand out for possible boost usage? And Nick, his name is, asks tentative chip strategy. So we have covered that, but single game weeks, I guess. You can have a look. Are there any weeks before the doubles you think about, or is it just...
I feel like we're better off looking later on in the season because we're going to be using these weeks to prepare for 33, 34, 35.
Yeah, sure.
We're probably better off looking like 37 onwards or something. I've not looked at the fixtures in detail personally. I guess I'm just picking out some standout fixtures. Burnley have Wigan at home in 36. Let's say you want to do triple in another week. For whatever reason, there's Burnley at home to Wigan, Coventry at home to Hull in 36. Norwich at home to Sunderland's all right. And Sheffield United at home to Luton. So, there's potential, you could triple on a couple of Burnley and Victor, let's say, in 36. Have you seen anything yet?
Not really. I guess it depends on if Blackburn away is a good game for Norwich, because West Brom have Rotherham away in 40, and Burnley has Middlesbrough, so maybe not. And if we go to like 43 to 46, I think that's a bit too far away to plan for.
Yeah. I suppose, let's say, in 35, we've got a triple Sheffield United and we've got a triple West Brom somehow with hits. Let's say you've done that with hits. Game week 40, Sheffield United have Wigan at home, West Brom have Rotherham away. Golf Fest, maybe?
What do you think about, for example, I play Elites and the Norwegian Fantasy game, and there is like almost a tradition sometimes, because it's a bit harder to set up for boosts there, because you have some boosts that are not like super obvious, but one of them has been you get double points for each of our strikers, and most of the times they have played that boost or chip in the last game week of the season, because there's usually lots of goals this time. Do you think that could be the same in the championship in Gaming 46, where some of the teams have much to play for, maybe a promotion or those finals before to get promotion spots? Could that be a game week where we see lots of goals, and maybe Goal Fest could be a thing?
I don't mind that shout, actually. You certainly see some freak results towards the end of the season. It wasn't game week 46, but I remember Adam Armstrong going nuts in like a 7-2 or something silly for Blackburn last season, or maybe it was the season before. Yeah,
because especially if there's like sides that are facing each other that are battling for promotion spots, we can see like either close games or like super open games. For example, Coventry are playing Middlesbrough. I don't know if those two maybe can be like in the same positions, maybe.
the one I'm looking at Game Week 46 is Burnley at home to Cardiff. Let's pretend Cardiff are safe mathematically. I know they're in a relegation dogfight at the moment. Let's say they make sure they're safe and Burnley already promoted. That could just be a bit of a wild. I mean, it could be a dead game, or it could be a bit of a wild game.
Yeah,
because it's a dead rubber. Dead rubbers are a bit weird like that. They can be dead or they can be wild. Norwich have Blackpool at home. Maybe there'll be a Norwich asset. Luton have Hull at home. Yeah, I mean, and then Watford have Stoke at home. So there's potential. You know, you got Yassar, you've got Pookie, you've got. I mean, Victor's not a bad shout. The Burnley wingers. You've got potential goal scoring players there. Yeah.
It's like if you find yourself with like 4 games left and you're not like happy with your rank, and you like want to have a big finish, you can like use the 3 game weeks before and like get your ultimate 11 you want, and then play Goalfest with the players you know from the whole season that probably are going to score for their teams, and looking at fixtures. Maybe that could be like a fun thing. I think maybe
if you can navigate 33 and 35 with, let's say. I mean, this is off the top of my head, but let's say you can navigate it with, say, total of -16 or -20 across those weeks, 33, 34, 35, in terms of dealing with that. Then okay. The cogs are turning. So apologies if this comes out a bit incoherent, but the cogs are turning. So there's the option of, let's say, overhaul in 34. You might take a -8 or -12 into Game Week 33, overhaul into 11 doublers for 35. So you've got the value of overhauling into a really good 35 team versus Goalfest, and then you've got to subtract off, you know, maybe 1 or 2 hits into 35 that you'd have to do, and then maybe just having a slightly worse team, like a less optimal team, for 35 and moving on from that because you've got your budget players. So I guess I'm trying to think kind of Goalfest aside, like what value, how many points is the overhaul worth there? And I wonder if it's worth about 30 points. And if it's worth 30 points, you need six goals from your Goalfest. And unless a double game week goes in for some unknown reason, let's say a championship team reaches the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, I think you're extremely unlikely to get 6 goals. I mean, it's obviously possible, but the odds are against you in a single game week. So it's fun.
Yeah.
But
it's like an attacking chip, I guess, at least, and you would hope that people that got very double focused, either didn't have the players they needed for the doubles, or the players they keep because they got them for overhaul. There's like an incentive to keep them for a longer while because you use the chip boost on them. So, and yeah, could work out, but yeah, we need a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think if you're not chasing, you want to hold rank, or you're after marginal gains. You probably don't do it; it's too risky. But I might give it some thought because my rank's pretty rubbish, and it's the very high risk, but potentially.
Yeah, if you're going into the 33 double with not the maximum or a very huge amount of budget players, you can still have a good team, and just disregard the 34 double because it's not the best one anyway.
Yeah.
Then you could be at least a bit well set up, and you probably can if you had Sarori, for example, then you could just keep him and not be blinded by the overhaul because you wouldn't get him anyway, I guess. That's a big bit to think about. I hadn't thought about this until now, but yeah, there's other ways to do it as well, I guess. So yeah.
So to sum up, probably not advised. We're not advising anyone does it.
Yeah, don't quote us on this, but you can if you want to.
Yeah, you'll have to have thought it through very carefully based off of what your team is looking like and what your plan is. You need to thought carefully about your plan for 33 to 35, and you need to kind of be confident that the value of the overhaul is maybe less than 30 points.
Yeah, and it depends on how you play. If you like playing for keeping rank because you're like happy with the okay rank, or if you want to like make a big push for it at the end, maybe in your position it's more likely because you're like in the 200-300s, but like, or yeah.
And if you're just playing for fun, Overhaul's boring, Golfest not, so just play Golfest at some point.
Yeah, I like that. Right, I think that answers the question.
I don't think we've ranked the boosts.
No, we don't have it.
We could do that.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to go first?
We probably will say the same, but yeah.
I mean, the top 3 is going to be easy, so...
Yeah. Pressure Buster, Triple, Overhaul.
Yeah.
And then there are others.
I'm gonna say home advantage on paper. Yeah, I'll say home advantage. It's probably not...
I'll actually say Underhaul as the 4th one.
I'll say home advantage as 4. 5.
That would be Golfest then.
5, I'll say Golfest, and 6, Underhaul.
Yeah.
And you're saying Underhaul, Golfest, home advantage, is that right?
Yeah, I guess.
It's not too important anyway, is it?
Yeah. You only have to pick 3 anyway, so.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Right, let's move on to our teams then.
Cool.
And you're up first again.
I've not really thought about what I'm going to do this week, but I think in all likelihood I will roll the transfer and wait for more information. And obviously just focusing transfers on budget players, so I don't really want to be getting them in right now. I think that makes the most sense. There's no glaring issues with my team at the moment. It's fine. Are there any kind of glaring omissions that I wish I had? I guess maybe Maatson. But I do think rolling is probably better. My defense is solid enough, so yeah, I'll do that. I don't like having Chair in my team, but he did get his standard 5 points yesterday, so he's still capable of doing the bonus. Captaincy, I don't know. Maybe Wallace, maybe Njai, maybe Akpom. It's kind of a terrible. Captaincy is so random. It's so hard this season. It's good for the game. It is good for the game, but I am never confident in my captaincy decision ever. No. I never believe that I'm going to make the right decision because it just feels very random.
Yeah, it's very seldom that I have gotten both captaincy and vice captaincy right. That's almost never.
I bet. Sounds like you're the same, but I bet my captaincy record this season is woeful. Probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to tell what to do with that. What about you? What's your team?
My team? Yeah, I'm a bit unsure as well. I think I will probably roll as well because I don't feel like it's something I have to do at the moment. I think the flag on Paul is still not fixed, so but Bidwell is there if not. And I think the only thing is Holmes. I probably need to get rid of him. If he's still injured. But the thing is I don't have much money in the bank. I have only 0.1, so there's no like obvious place to go for him. So I guess the thing that he could probably drop in value because I think a good amount of people that still play the game got him and didn't know he was injured, so they will probably do the same and get him out. So maybe it's a bit risky to keep him, but I don't know who I'll get. So. Because I made some transfers in combination with him, getting him in, so then I put budgets elsewhere. But yeah, I think that would be the only thing I would do. Captaincy, it's on Pukki at the moment against Bristol. I think that's an okay shout, and vice captain Njai. I didn't know Chair was out of form. I'll just have him. But yeah,
QPR as a whole are useless right now.
Yeah. Even though low scored, but is he the only player that's doing well then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're slipping down the league, QPR. I don't know what the stats are, but it feels like they're not winning a long time.
Maybe that's like priority to get out then. I have three QPR players at the moment, so if none of them are doing well, maybe I'm playing it wrong.
PAL is certainly not a good option. QPR's last win was 17th of December.
Oh, really?
1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5.
How have I not
7
fucked
games
this?
without a win.
That's weak for me. Yeah, maybe.
7 games without a win, quite a few draws, and they lost to Fleetwood in the FA Cup as well.
Oh, really? Maybe that should be in priority to get out QPR players then.
Yeah, you shouldn't own defenders at least.
No. Yeah, I think that's
you
it.
happened on the blank, didn't you? Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that was part of it, I guess. Yeah. I think that's it then, for me.
Cool. And that brings us to the end of the pod, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Well, thank you everyone for watching and listening. It's been an interesting one with the boosts. Always enjoy the new boosts. It's like one of my favourite bits of Gaffr, when the new boosts refresh and seeing what's on the site. Any final words, David?
No, I'm a bit excited for what we're going to do with the outro, but we can try.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's gonna sound a lot shorter. Well, here we go. All that remains to be said is goodbye and see you next time. And it's goodbye from me.
Oh, ha det bra. That was weird.
And it's a namaste from Abhishek over in India somewhere.
Yeah. Get well soon.